Okay, I'm quickly going to show you the screenshot of SDR control. The first one is going to be on my iPad, and these are the various functions that it can do right now, and he's going to be adding more as time goes on. All those same functions and plus more is available on the Mac, so the Mac is more complete. And you can turn on the squelch, you can change frequencies, you can change memories, you can scan, do various things there. Transmit was very handy when I was testing the antenna. I just had to use my phone to transmit when I needed it to get a reading. Okay, this is the phone. It's compact, it's small. I kind of like the feel and look of it. I don't know what it is about it yet, but I'm still got to play with it a little bit more to get to know. But so far, I love it. And you have a ham shack in one room, you're upstairs, you can be listening on your phone upstairs for some reason. So, yeah, we'll have to do a little bit more experimenting. Okay, we're going to show you how to create channel memories and why I think it's better. Now, this video is going to deal with channel creation or memories. Now, we certainly did one for the DV repeater list that ICOM provides and how to modify it. You may not find it useful. Who knows, perhaps over time ICOM may update their database, which would require you to re-edit, especially if they occupy some of the channels or groups, I should call. And you may find it's not that convenient to scroll through a list to find out what the frequency is. It can be handy. I prefer the channel method. There's a lot of advantages to it. First of all, you create it. No one else is going to change it. And once you've created it, it's easy to modify it. The only disadvantage would be the software program that you use. I know in my case I use the SDR control. They do support the memory option with the lists and 99 groups with 99 entries per group. However, the format he used is different than that of the repeater list that you created for the IC-705 DV list. And I also noticed, especially when I had the ICOM 7300, it saves when you do an export of your channel memory. It uses colons instead of commas, which is not what our repeater list uses. And it doesn't use the same fields. So it required me to do a conversion myself. Once I created within FileMaker, there was no problem. But don't want to be doing that for every radio. So I find using your SD card on your ICOM is a better way to go. The only difference is you put it in the channel folder. This is how you would start. I'm going to use, again, Alberta as an example. Let's say, you can create groups for every city here. You got 99, so you can do that if you want. I'm going to just use Calgary, for example. And then when you do the export, ICOM 705, now this is important. I just select the group because each group should have its own. If you want, for example, Calgary to be on your first group and something else on the second group, so you would, every time you save, you would change the group number so you don't have to do any editing afterwards. And put in a group number each time. It will save you entries later. I like to put the group into cities. Well, in this particular case with Calgary, it's not too critical. But if you have repeaters with multiple cities, they'll be handy. And of course, in the end, call signs, in case there's more than one repeater in one city. And then use squelch tone, bypass, and I agree, and you do your downloads. Now, let me open. Oops, just a minute. Hold on. I'm just going to do the format that SDR Control use. Okay, so I'm going to hit Utilities, Export. I'll just go to my desktop, Save, Successful, and let's take a look. Oops, let me close this one out. Notice the semicolons. Okay. If I was to import the repeater list, I would have to replace all the semicolons into a comma. That's one thing. And also, the numbering is critical. I would have to add all those empty channels. Do it through, if I do it through the SD card, all I do is just copy this, copy paste. That's it. Okay, this is my clone copy of the IC-705. You go into CSV, memory channel. Remember, in repeater lists, this is the modified file that we use for the DV to include the FM repeaters, analog repeaters with the DV. But I kind of prefer myself personally this approach. And we downloaded this one here called Calgary. So if I was to, in this particular case, I selected as to be in group 1. I call it Calgary. And let's just open that up. Let me see if I can enlarge this a little bit. Okay, this is the headings for the record, all the groups. Excuse me. If you see a shorter header than this, then you know it's not going to work because the memory in the particular program I use has a different format. Okay, let's close this, go back. This is my channel, okay? I've created this already. So I got Calgary as group 1. I have D-Star as group 2. And I broke down the 2 meter repeaters into 2 groups, just to illustrate. Basically, all the Alberta repeaters that was in the repeater list is the same. The only difference is I broke it up in different groups. So if I do need to look up a particular repeater in an area, here's a 70 centimeter group. If you're into Echolink, there's all the Echolink. This is the IRLP. And this one's handy, the wide area repeaters. These are repeaters that have a large area coverage. As you can see, I got only 10 groups here, but you could add up to 99. Okay, that's all that's required. And all you have to do is save it in here. Now, these other files don't need to be on the SD card. I just have it there because just in case I'll be working on it still. But that's the one I have, My Channels. Now I'll show you a video how to load it. It's a little bit different this time. Okay, well, first thing I had to do, of course, there's no hook provided with the microphone. This is one of the things I use for my iPhone in a car. I just clip it with a Velcro stick, so it works. So let me stop. I'm gonna go to settings. Let me zoom in. Actually, before I do that, let me just turn off. And put it back on. There, put a picture to remind me who is my queen. Okay, now we'll zoom in. Okay, let me just adjust this a little bit. So I go to settings. I'm going to scroll down to SD card. Hit import. Well, actually, before I do that, I'll scroll right up. Okay, that is up. There you go. Import. Import. Now this is where you have to select memory channel. If you select repeater list, you're gonna have scrambled stuff if it works, or it may tell you that it failed and you'll need to restart. So memory channel, and I would select my channel, not the one that it creates an alias to it. I'm assuming it's a settings file that it saves when you go to do a save. And it'll ask you to replace it or whatever. I've already done it, so I'm just going to leave it be. That's it. And once that's done, let me just get out of there. There are two memories. You have the regular analog memory, as I call it, and we have the DV memory. This is where you would see our modified lists. Memory, and there's my list. I left 00 blank so I can modify it on the go. Just add, copy, and paste. That's another nice feature about it, especially when I'm using the SDR control. I can open a memory, copy it, and then paste it in another location, everything. So if I want to look at the D-star repeaters, they're all here. Only 12. And with 2 meters, 2 meters, 6 meters, 70 centimeters, Echolink, All-Star, and I have a experimental, special channels that I kind of play around with, testing things, so I'm not causing no interference. So that's it. It's simple as that. Yeah. Okay. I guess my next video I'm gonna talk about the 3 apps that I use on my iPhone, iPad, and the Mac, the SDR control, the things I like, and some of the things that could use improvement. From what I'm experiencing lately, he seems to be updating and debugging. He seems to be working on it, so I'm quite pleased with that.